Welcome back to EU4, where we are currently watching Argentina in their attempt to try and survive. Will they succeed? Will they not succeed? Who knows? All we do know is that Argentina is in a very, very good position. They are very far away from anyone that could actually hurt them, and they will probably have plenty of time to slowly expand and more or less kind of encircle this area and form a base before anyone can actually get to them. My first fear is Castile. Castile will probably be the first or second ones to arrive in the Americas. Generally, they will go for the Caribbean first, but then it becomes more of a 50-50 on whether they go into the North America, South America, or just both. And both is usually the correct option, but generally, they either spend most of their time in one or the other continent. And Argentina is probably going to hope that they choose North America on that one. Portugal is the second one. Portugal could become a threat later down the line, but I feel like Argentina can probably win out in an early game against Portugal. Wouldn't be extremely hard for Argentina to pull out a victory. But the worst scenario for Argentina is that they do not expand into the Peruvian wastelands and just kind of fall apart before they can really accomplish anything. That would be the biggest fear of mine, and it probably will happen to Argentina because they're Catholic, just like they are in real life, so it's going to be very hard for them to make alliances and potentially break apart any alliances that these Inti have put together. Although, we'll just have to see if Argentina can seriously survive until the end of EU4. It is now 1492, and Argentina is expanding at a rapid pace. They have conquered every single tribe that has dared come to their border, and have pushed up to Cusco, up here into the Incan mountains. So they are doing very, very well for themselves at the moment. But now the first challenger truly arrives on the continent, as Portugal has arrived and is ready to tussle. I do believe Portugal is actually weaker than Argentina, with Portugal not really doing a whole lot over here in the Maghreb region. It's mostly just Castile, and Castile has done quite a bit of damage for themselves, but they have lost some stuff to France, so it kind of balances itself out. Portugal, on the other hand, has done virtually nothing, and it is still too early on to see if the Portuguese can truly prove themselves in the world stage. But with a Portuguese colony in Brazil, they may just have the strength necessary to wipe the floor with Argentina. Still a big question, though, if Argentina can finish off the rest of the natives before the tech bonus eventually runs out. Currently, they still have 3 techs on Cusco, their closest neighbor, but are unwilling to declare war for many different reasons. But until Argentina feels confident enough to declare war, they will not expand nor counteract a Portuguese invasion. So we'll just have to see. Will Argentina truly become strong enough to fight off the Portuguese, or will they fall into obscurity and eventually fall? War has broken out in 1542, and well, Argentina has renamed themselves, and Portugal has finally made a landing in the Chilean coast. And of course, Portugal feels it's confident enough to fight La Plata, and we'll just have to see if they truly are as confident as they believe they are, with 10 for Argentina and 11 for Portugal. We'll just have to see who wins. Could easily be a back and forth battle. Argentina does have on 5 points that they gain, so it's not horrible. But Portugal does have a good base in Brazil, so it goes back and forth really. And I do believe La Plata has a fort up here, but not a lot of forts overall. Castile has dominated the Caribbean and Mexican region. Sweden made a landing over here in Colombia, and Friesland has attempted to colonize a little bit, but really they've been failing constantly because of England and the fact that England wants it all. But I can't even see what England has even tried to take, so I'm not even going to try and talk about it. Castile, or Spain, definitely Spain, has also begun colonizing Canada. Great Britain has gone Anglican as well as formed itself. The Commonwealth is alive and well. Austria has united with Hungary, but let's be honest here, Austria's probably not even a great power. They're not. Austria is definitely on the tail end of things. Even Venice has taken a province from them. Quite sad. France still holds some parts of northern Spain and has pushed even further into the Italian peninsula, really just bringing up the temperature. Commonwealth has also beaten up Austria and Bohemia, leaving both of them in a pretty bad situation overall. The Ottomans have been going it pretty slow in the Middle East here, but they have really ravaged Austria, taking over all their Croatian territory that they had, as well as large chunks of Hungary, really just wrapping them up. Muscovy has also been losing slightly. They've lost to the Commonwealth at least once, and to the Ottomans at least once as well. They're still doing well in the Nordic region, but that's just because they beat up Denmark. Nothing really much to say there. Bukhara has formed and is quickly destroying any other tribe that comes into contact with them. We'll see how long that lasts, with the Muscovites potentially coming back. Potentially. We'll see if they can actually manage. Timurids are still alive and well. They're facing heavy competition, and they currently have a low amount of troops for how big they are, so we'll see if they can survive an assault from Delhi. Ming has exploded. Pretty nasty there. Dai Viet took a lot of southern China, and I do believe Liang is currently the emperor, because Ming kind of just got thrown right off and have become a kingdom. How very sad of them. Going back to India real fast, Vij is the most dominant player, and currently everyone's kind of just allying outside powers, seeing what can break up Vijayanagar for good. Ayutthaya is there, but not really a power. And I guess we're going right back to La Plata and seeing how this war is turning out. Currently, La Plata is, or Argentina, you can call them either one, is losing just barely. Nothing crazy there. Portugal could also land on the Falklands over here and move in, or what they call the Malvinas. They could definitely use that. Just all depends on what they want to use and what they can use. La Plata still has 30,000 troops, no idea where they are. I see 19k there, and they're invading Brazil. Awesome. I found them. Next step. The Portuguese are currently taking the only fort that I know about in the entirety of La Plata, which is probably really bad for La Plata right now. I can only imagine how bad that's going to go. Overall, Portugal is looking like they're probably going to win pretty handily. Yeah, La Plata's probably done for. I don't see them making any progress. They didn't even try and take on Cusco in another war. They fought them. They haven't even fought them directly, technically. They just kind of let them exist. And yeah, Argentina Argentina is basically just trying to go off on Brazil. Probably not going to work for them. They need to try and defend their territory before even trying to attack. And that may just be the death sentence for them. But, of course, we will see if La Plata can truly survive in EU4. It is now 1547, and the Argentine-Portuguese War has officially ended, with Portugal coming out on top pretty easily. And now La Plata is no longer in a good position. Still Catholic, it could possibly befriend Castile. Beyond that, though, there is not much hope. Even Portuguese Brazil got something out of it by taking Povos des Mossos. Beyond that, nothing too crazy's happened. Sweden has expanded further, and Castile is tightening its grip. France got a couple colonies over here. Mali is huge. We got a fairly powerful Spain. And Portugal is getting its butt kicked by France, which is probably why they surrendered or gave in to Argentine demands. Because they probably could have taken more than what they did. And it's looking like France is at war with Great Britain. Yes, it's over Calais, so it's this little province. And since Great Britain also has a PU over Flanders, I do believe France could take quite a big chunk out of the HRE. I know a lot of crazy things. Austria is still in a bad position, so is Bohemia. The Commonwealth is very large still. Sweden's getting beat up by France as well. Russia has formed, but it's a pretty small Russia. And they may have also been beaten by the Ottomans again. Time will definitely tell, though. Bukhara is very large, taking over a lot more of the central steppes. We have no real big winner in China just yet, with Liang still being the emperor. Japan has unified Japan, the Manchus are around, and the Timurids are still in the Tibetan highlands. Beyond all of that, very little is actually going down. France is probably the biggest player actually attempting to do something at the moment, but that will definitely not last for too much longer, because there will definitely be more players trying to get into South America and possibly allying Argentina or potentially destroying them. So we'll just have to see if La Plata or Argentina can actually survive for much longer. Can they even get past the 1600s? I guess time will tell. The current year is 1567, and La Plata has actually managed to beat a war, not beat a war, has actually managed to beat Cusco in a war, which allowed them to expand way up here into the north. Not much else has happened, even though technically Portugal can declare war now, mostly because the Protestant League War fired and a bunch of other crazy things. Nothing too crazy over here in the New World, though, besides France did get a colony. Over back in Europe, the most pathetic League War I have ever seen happened. It was basically Austria and Spain versus England, and yeah, they couldn't do anything. So, then right after the League War, or during basically the end, France then jumped on Trier, and the Ottomans jumped on Austria, or technically Bosnia, but it doesn't have to matter because they took more of Austria. So that leveled Spain and Austria. They still won the League War, so the HRE is still very much Catholic, but currently the HRE is very weak with an emperor in Austria, and Bohemia is not in a good place to replace them. On the other hand, the Commonwealth has decided that they are going to take Stockholm from Sweden. And Denmark, I think, was considered a great power. Not anymore. It's Venice, surprisingly. Russia, Great Britain, Portugal, Commonwealth, France, Ottomans, and Spain. A few people have been trying to take the 8th spot. Bukhara over here had it for a little bit, but now they're getting beat up by Russia. And then, of course, like I said, Denmark had it. And then, of course, Venice has been the #1 player to take it. But they lost a war to Austria, so they had to give up Trent and Styria. So they haven't been quite as major of a power as they would like to be. France also is going quite crazy in HRE. Besides that, Bukhara got super large. Now they're getting slowly shaved down by Russia. Not too surprising there. I think Liang is still the emperor. Yes, they are. Vijayanagar is still the most dominant player in India currently. Definitely can change. Japan's still here in Korea. Nothing too crazy. Congo is looking like they may actually unify the Congo region, although they could still fail very easily. Kilwa's not moving up north, and the Ethiopians probably lost the war to the Mamluks. But the Mamluks are definitely losing to the Ottomans. Almost certainly there. Let's see here. La Plata could be declared war on at any moment. And I think the Commonwealth has more claims over more of Sweden. Beyond that, though, there is absolutely nothing going on in the world besides the Protestant League basically just floundering under its own potential. And apparently, what happened over here in... Oh, it looks like the Ottomans and the Commonwealth are fighting. Very interesting there. We're going to have to see here. Ottomans, Medina, Gazikumuk versus the Commonwealth, Gotland, and Riga. So we know who's going to win that. It's going to be the Ottomans. The Ottomans are just too powerful to be put down by one great power. Except for maybe Spain or the French. Which the French currently have a lot of development. If they could get the printing press going, they would be second, and the Ottomans would be in first. But since Spain has the printing press, they are considered first, and they may just manage to eke out the French when they get their colonies up and running. But who really knows? Who really knows? Portugal took the Swedish colony. Very interesting there. And it looks like all of South America is going to fall to the Portuguese within due time. No one's stopping them. Great Britain's focusing on these little islands, but La Plata is looking like it's doomed to fail. All it can do is hope that the Portuguese don't kill them too fast, and that they somehow manage to gain a chance to ally a different great power. But time will tell whether this is even possible. The current year is 1570, and La Plata, or Argentina, is currently at war with Portugal, Portuguese Brazil, Portuguese Colombia, Rio de Prata, and Portuguese Peru. Seems to be over for the mighty nation of Argentina, but yet they have so much land that it can't be taken all in one war at least. Can they truly survive, or will they truly fall? Who really knows? With the great powers of Venice, Russia, Great Britain, the Commonwealth, Portugal, Ottomans, Spain, and France, who really knows what will happen in the world? Looks like the Commonwealth already got beat up, though. Oh yeah, the Ottomans are now connected into Crimea. I would be watching out, Kara Quinlu. They may just unite it through the Caucasus as well. But nothing else crazy has happened. It's been a very, very short time. Probably less than a year. It looks like Argentina is already pretty much done for, negative 55%. It's almost guaranteed that their fall is coming real soon in this war. Their fort at Tocueca Toquacaca is probably going to fall here relatively soon as well. Tech advantage. Currently, it's basically non-existent for the colonies. In Portugal itself, though, it is 14, so there is a slight advantage towards the Portuguese overall, which is probably not going to be helping Argentina's 24,000 troops, especially now that it looks like this on the map. This is a pretty terrifying force to be going up against. And I don't even know how Argentina even has a navy right now, considering what should be happening right now. Beyond that, Portugal even has a colony all the way out here, Ilha de Pascua, basically just Easter Island, pretty much. And they'll probably be using that very, very quickly to quickly and easily annihilate these people. Or at least that's thought. They're probably going to ride through Australia through the back end, I would assume, at this point. They're doing very little colonizing over here, and they're really starting to focus over here in the Pacific, with even capturing the Galapagos. Very interesting. And yeah, this war, negative 80%. I wonder if Portugal's going to get caught up in European politics again. That's kind of what screwed them over last time. That's Protestant Reformation War, and then getting caught out by the French. Really did not help them. Yes, it looks like it's going to be over real fast. I don't even know if I want to click off to see the end. The Caribbean is looking like it's going to be dominated by the Castilians and the British. But New Providence, what is this? Captain Benjamin. Looks like they broke free from the Spanish. Who is this? Culture Castilian. Pirate Republic. So someone has broken free in the Caribbean, calling themselves a Pirate Republic. That is cool. I didn't know that was a thing. The Chihuahua Federation is still alive and going strong. The Paca are here. Pacaha, I guess. Huron's here. Spanish Canada. Nothing too overwhelmingly interesting there. The Mosquito are still alive. They probably aren't doing too well, I would assume. They're faring pretty badly. The Musica are gone, completely annihilated in Colombia. No peace deal yet. Negative, okay, it's gonna be over here soon. It's basically over. And the Argentinians have not surrendered yet. They're still willing to fight. But their capital should have been lost by now. And La Plata, come on, just surrender. You all know you want to. They're gonna wait for a full siege, aren't they? So basically, when all these stop, there we go. La Plata has been vanquished, with Rio de Plata, or Rio de Prata, growing in size, as well as, actually this is all Rio de Prata. So they're just growing all over the place, with Portuguese Peru probably getting a few bits as well. And La Plata is no longer in a good position. They need to really stabilize themselves. They have officially lost quite a bit of territory. Quite a bit. And they really need to start refocusing and restabilizing before the Portuguese come back for them, which will probably come sooner than what they realize. The year is 1586, and La Plata has been declared war upon again, this time by Portugal, which basically has been happening every single time. This time, though, I don't believe. Actually, no, La Plata definitely does have a fort over here in Chaca. But we'll see if that's actually going to be useful to Argentina or La Plata, because I kind of doubt it will be. Next major thing on the discussion list, while we wait for that war to wrap up real fast. A pirate republic has been formed in the Caribbean called New Providence, which has caused a lot of people to kind of go crazy. New Friesland has been formed, and Nouvelle Flandre has been formed under the French. Very interesting on that one. Beyond that, Great Britain has taken everything but the islands around them. Pretty standard for the most part. Spain's taken over a lot of North Africa, and you're probably seeing it. The Ottomans and the Commonwealth have completely disintegrated Russia. I think they still have Moscow, but they're not far off from complete and utter destruction. As well as Denmark eating most of Sweden. I do believe Sapmi and Finland broke free, but of course, Denmark ate Sapmi. So they will not be alive for much longer. Austria and Bohemia are very weak, with the whole HRE thing probably in a way worse position than what it was earlier. Ethiopia is looking okay. The Mamluks are completely destroyed. The Timurids are still alive. They may have lost a war to Bukhara, though. And Bukhara has lost at least one war with the Russians. Bukhara is in a very awkward position. They could easily expand into Oirat and a couple of these other tribes, but I think they're in too weak of a position to actually push on to their success. Currently, the Great Powers list is a little funky. It is Denmark, Korea, Great Britain, Portugal, Commonwealth, Ottomans, France, and Spain, with Russia and Austria currently out of a great position. It leaves two wacky people to try and fill in the ranks. Currently, it's held by Denmark and Korea, but at one point it was held by Bengal and a few other states like Bukhara. Just because there is no one at the moment to replace the whole. Liang is still the emperor, although that's probably not going to last long with nine moral authority, or not nine mandate. Dai Viet is a very powerful force in South China still, with Shun kind of disintegrating at the seams. No other great powers have formed at the moment. Vijayanagar is not doing a whole lot, although I think they did eat Bakumanis, and probably beat up Bengal. Beyond that, the Congo is looking okay. France is growing its colony in Africa, and La Plata is still actually at war with Portugal, in a war that's actually looking decent for them. I don't believe it. There's no way that they're winning, right? What's going on? Well, it looks like at least La Plata lost one battle. I see their troops retreating, and their fort over here in Makaya is falling. So they at least have two level 2 forts. Unless they should. Yeah. Chocoquachaka is definitely still alive, and Makaya is definitely alive. Beyond that, I am not seeing any other truly powerful forts anywhere in La Plata. They may still hold their capital fort, but that will only be lasting for so much longer. With a continual attack from Portugal, it is almost guaranteed that La Plata will lose. But how much will they lose? And can they survive till the 1600s?